Did you know that more than 80% of people who use baking soda have absolutely no idea about its most powerful life-enhancing uses, especially when it comes to the unique health needs of seniors? That's right. This incredibly common, almost ridiculously inexpensive kitchen staple, costing just mere pennies per use, sits quietly on pantry shelves in homes all across the country. Yet, it's holding on to far more profound healing potential than most of us could ever possibly realize. In fact, a growing number of health experts and wellness advocates are beginning to believe that simple baking soda is one of the most tragically overlooked wellness tools available to older adults. Just let that sink in for a moment. Think about it. How many times have you casually reached for that familiar box of baking soda to scrub a stubborn stain from your sink, to banish odors from your fridge, or perhaps to give a little lift to a favorite cake recipe? You've likely done so without ever pausing to wonder what else this unassuming white powder might be capable of doing, specifically for your aging body as it navigates the changes and challenges of time. What if I told you that this simple, pure substance has been trusted and used for over a century in ways that could gently ease persistent pain, restore a sense of daily comfort, and powerfully support the very specific health requirements that come with seniority? Why on earth is no one shouting this from the rooftops? What truly powerful, accessible, and affordable remedies are we, and perhaps our loved ones, all missing out on? In the discussion that follows, we're going to pull back the curtain and uncover 7 remarkable, often surprising ways that baking soda can support senior health, naturally, safely, and with an affordability that's almost unheard of in today's world of complex medical solutions. You'll also gain crucial knowledge about who should approach its use with a degree of caution and exactly how to incorporate it wisely into your wellness routine. If you genuinely care about your well-being or the well-being of a senior in your life and you're seeking practical, empowering tools to age with strength, vitality, and grace, then you absolutely won't want to miss what's coming next. Let's get started on this eye-opening journey. As the tapestry of our lives unfolds, our skin begins to tell the rich story of a life well lived. Each fine line etched by laughter or concern, every sun-kissed spot of dryness, each newly sensitive patch of skin becomes a quiet, poignant reminder of time's gentle, inevitable passing. Yet alongside these cherished stories, there often come the unwelcome discomforts, that persistent, maddening itchiness that can rouse you from a deep sleep in the middle of the night, the uncomfortable tightness that no amount of lotion or cream seems to fully soothe, and the increasingly fragile feeling of skin that once felt so resilient and forgiving. These are not mere inconveniences. They are daily wearing frustrations that can significantly erode our comfort, peace of mind, and overall quality of life. But what if a surprisingly comforting solution was already hiding in plain sight, nestled within your kitchen cabinet? Believe it or not, humble baking soda, long celebrated for its impressive cleaning prowess, also offers a wonderfully simple, entirely natural remedy for the dryness, irritation, and sensitivity that so often affect senior skin. When you add this unassuming white powder to a warm bath, something truly magical happens. The water transforms into a gentle alkaline soak, a soothing elixir that works to beautifully balance the skin's delicate pH levels. This in turn helps to reduce underlying inflammation and calm that frustrating surface irritation. Just half a cup of baking soda stirred into a full tub of warm water can bring about remarkable, almost instant relief. Many older adults who have discovered the quiet magic of baking soda baths report not just significantly softer, smoother skin, but also a profound, deep sense of ease, less itching, visibly reduced redness, and, as a wonderful bonus, a more restful and uninterrupted night's sleep. Unlike so many commercially produced bath products, which are often laden with artificial fragrances, harsh dyes, and chemical preservatives, baking soda contains none of these potential irritants, absolutely nothing to aggravate skin that is already sensitive or compromised. It's a welcome return to something wonderfully pure, blessedly uncomplicated, in a modern world that often overwhelms us with complex chemical choices and overpromising, under-delivering product labels. There's a profound comfort in knowing that genuine, tangible relief can come from something so incredibly simple, so readily available, and so close to home. And it's not just anecdotal. Science echoes what many seniors have intuitively felt firsthand. Baking soda's remarkable ability to soothe and comfort the skin stems from its inherent mild anti-inflammatory and antimicrobial properties. It gently helps to calm minor rashes, lessen the discomfort associated with conditions like eczema, and effectively restore the skin's natural softness and suppleness without the need for harsh medicated creams or expensive specialized treatments. When thoughtfully combined with the comforting embrace of warm water, it doesn't just soothe the body, it has a wonderfully calming effect on the mind as well. It becomes a cherished ritual of care, a small yet significant act of self-kindness that speaks volumes about valuing one's own well-being. If you or someone you care for has struggled to find a lasting solution for persistent itchy skin, especially at night when discomfort can often feel magnified and unbearable, I wholeheartedly encourage you to try drawing a baking soda bath. Allow yourself to soak in the stillness, to feel the gentle relief, and to remember that sometimes true lasting comfort isn't found in elaborate pharmaceutical concoctions, but in the quiet, unassuming wisdom of simple, everyday things. As the years gracefully accumulate, even the simple, fundamental joy of eating can sometimes become unexpectedly complicated. Meals that once brought unadulterated comfort, connection, and pure pleasure now, on occasion, bring with them a lingering sense of discomfort. That slow, heavy, leaden feeling in your chest after a meal, the unwelcome acidic burn slowly creeping up your throat, the persistent pressure that seems to linger long after the plate has been cleared away. These are sensations that for many older adults transform indigestion into an all too familiar and unwelcome companion at the dining table. This discomfort can sneak in quietly, almost unnoticed at first, but then decide to stay for hours, insidiously turning the act of nourishment into a source of unease and effectively robbing us of one of the most fundamental pleasures that dining once offered so freely and effortlessly. This isn't simply a matter of getting older. It's a direct result of how our amazing bodies naturally change and adapt over the course of a lifetime. The digestive system, once robust and forgiving, often becomes more sensitive, perhaps a bit slower to respond, and consequently more easily irritated by certain types of foods, larger than usual portions, or even some common medications. And while the pharmacy shelves are filled with over-the-counter solutions promising fast, almost instantaneous relief, these options frequently come with their own set of potential side effects or long-term risks that can be particularly troubling for those who are already carefully managing other health conditions or taking multiple prescriptions. This is precisely why discovering that something as humble and readily available as baking soda can offer such effective relief can feel almost miraculous. A simple half teaspoon of baking soda, thoroughly stirred into a standard glass of water and sipped slowly, can act with surprising speed to help calm the raging storm within your digestive tract. Because baking soda, sodium bicarbonate, is naturally alkaline, it works by effectively neutralizing the excess stomach acid that is the primary culprit behind the discomfort of heartburn and indigestion. It doesn't just temporarily mask the symptoms, it gently, efficiently restores a more comfortable and natural balance within your system. There's something incredibly grounding and reassuring about this particular remedy, something that speaks to a quieter, more intuitive, and deeply traditional kind of healing. It's not flashy, it's not heavily branded, and it's certainly not sold with catchy slogans or overblown hype. It's just comfort, plain, simple, and true, a piece of wisdom that has been passed down through generations and, importantly, is also confirmed by modern science for its efficacy. For seniors who are growing weary of constantly reaching for pills, or those who are tired of waking up with that gnawing, uncomfortable feeling in their gut, this wonderfully old-fashioned approach can feel like a genuine breath of fresh air, a return to simpler, more natural solutions. Of course, as with any remedy, caution is always wise. Baking soda does contain sodium, and for individuals managing high blood pressure or those with kidney concerns, it must be used in careful moderation and, ideally, with a doctor's guidance and approval. However, for occasional discomfort, particularly after indulging in rich meals or enjoying late-night snacks, it can be a wonderfully gentle and effective ally, offering a small glass of welcome relief sourced right from your very own kitchen. And perhaps the most beautiful part of this simple solution: it puts the power of healing in a small but significant way right back into your own hands. No prescriptions are needed, no lengthy waits in clinic rooms, just the quiet, empowering knowledge that sometimes your body knows exactly how to feel better with just a little bit of gentle, natural help. Our feet are the unsung heroes of our physical existence. They diligently carry us through a lifetime of experiences. They've walked us across countless thresholds, into homes filled with the warmth of family and the laughter of friends. They've paced along sterile hospital halls during times of concern and meandered across quiet, leaf-strewn sidewalks at dusk, witnessing countless sunrises and sunsets. But as the years advance, these same loyal feet often begin to speak back to us in new, sometimes challenging ways. They might ache with a dull throb after even a short, leisurely walk. They can swell unexpectedly, seemingly without warning or clear reason. Sometimes they become prone to itching, cracking, or carry the quiet, often unspoken embarrassment of persistent odor that no commercial powder or spray seems to fully or lastingly solve. For many seniors, diligently tending to their foot health becomes not just a simple matter of physical comfort, but an essential component of maintaining their dignity and independence. And yet, once again, humble baking soda, that ever-versatile kitchen staple, offers a quiet, surprisingly powerful, and wonderfully accessible solution. It's all too easy to overlook our feet, to take them for granted until discomfort or pain demands our immediate attention. However, incorporating a simple, soothing ritual, soaking your feet in a basin of warm water enriched with a few tablespoons of baking soda, can be truly transformative. This practice isn't just about softening stubborn calluses or effectively deodorizing the skin, though it does both of those things exceptionally well. It's about consciously creating a dedicated space in your day to care for a part of your body that often goes unnoticed and unappreciated, despite its constant hard work. As you gently lower your feet into the warm, inviting water, the baking soda begins its gentle yet effective work. It starts by neutralizing the odor-causing acids that can accumulate, calming any underlying fungal activity that might be present, and noticeably softening rough, dry, or inflamed skin. The comforting warmth of the water helps to open the pores, allowing the beneficial properties to penetrate more deeply, while the natural alkalinity of the baking soda works to restore a healthy balance to the skin. For those precious moments, your feet, those tireless, steadfast companions on life's journey, finally feel seen, thoroughly soothed, and genuinely supported. What makes baking soda an especially comforting choice for foot care is that it asks so very little of us. There are no prescriptions to fill, no complicated tools or expensive gadgets required, just a simple basin, some readily available warm water, and a generous handful of this common household powder. Seniors who have thoughtfully incorporated this practice into their weekly or even daily routine often report a significant reduction in skin cracking, fewer bothersome fungal issues like athlete's foot, and most importantly, a palpable return of overall comfort, especially for those who may be living with conditions like diabetes, which can make foot health particularly crucial, or for individuals with limited mobility who find other forms of foot care challenging. Beyond the tangible physical relief, there's something almost meditative, even spiritual, in the simple act of caring for your feet. It's a gentle invitation to slow down, to reconnect with your body, and to honor the incredible vessel that has carried you so faithfully for so many years. Odor, too, becomes much less of a worry thanks to baking soda's remarkable natural ability to absorb excess moisture and effectively inhibit the growth of odor-causing bacteria. It leaves the skin feeling fresher, noticeably drier, and significantly less prone to the kinds of common infections that so often trouble aging feet. With the passage of time comes a wealth of wisdom, experience, and sometimes the quiet personal realities of our evolving health. One of the most intimate adjustments many seniors navigate is the transition from their natural teeth to dentures, partials, or other specialized oral devices designed to maintain function and appearance. At first, this change can sometimes feel like a subtle loss, perhaps a loss of the effortless ease they once knew, a disruption to long-established routines, or even a slight dent in self-confidence. The mouth, an area of our body once largely taken for granted, now requires a little more dedicated attention, a little more specialized care to keep it healthy and comfortable. And yet, within that very act of giving extra care, something truly beautiful and affirming can be restored. Tea. That's precisely where the gentle, unassuming presence of baking soda can make all the difference in the world. Unlike many commercially available denture cleaners, which are often formulated with strong, potentially irritating chemicals and overpowering artificial fragrances, baking soda offers a wonderfully natural, completely non-toxic, and remarkably effective way to keep these essential oral appliances impeccably clean, pleasantly fresh, and comfortably fitting. Just a single humble spoonful of baking soda, dissolved thoroughly in a glass of warm water, transforms into a soothing, cleansing soak. This simple solution works diligently to draw out stubborn stains, gently lift away accumulated food debris, and effectively neutralize the odor-causing bacteria that can otherwise lead to unpleasant breath and potential irritation. There's something deeply reassuring about this approach. It's simple, it's honest, and its effectiveness has been proven time and again, much like so many of the best, most trusted remedies that have been thoughtfully passed down through generations. But this is about so much more than just basic cleaning. For seniors, maintaining a consistently healthy, clean mouth, whether with natural teeth or oral appliances, can mean the crucial difference between eating their meals in complete comfort or experiencing persistent pain and difficulty. It can mean enjoying lively conversations with friends and family without any underlying worry or self-consciousness, and it allows them to smile freely and joyfully once again. Baking soda helps to preserve that invaluable freedom by gently polishing appliance surfaces without scratching them, disinfecting effectively without causing irritation to sensitive oral tissues, and refreshing deeply without the use of harsh or potentially harmful chemicals. It restores not only the physical cleanliness of dentures or partials, but just as importantly, it helps to restore the confidence to wear them proudly, knowing they are as fresh, well cared for, and healthy as the rest of you. It's also an ideal solution for those with particularly sensitive mouths. Many older adults develop conditions like dry mouth, xerostomia, or increased gum tenderness over time. In these instances, baking soda's mild, alkalizing, and inherently soothing nature offers a much safer and more comfortable alternative to harsher cleaning agents that can sometimes cause a burning sensation or other forms of discomfort. With regular daily or weekly use, many seniors find that their oral appliances last longer, feel significantly more comfortable against their gums, and smell noticeably, pleasantly fresher. And in that quiet, mindful ritual, carefully dropping their dentures into a glass, watching them soak as the water turns slightly cloudy with impurities being drawn out, there's a profound sense of control, of active ownership over one's own health and well-being. It may seem like a small act, but it's incredibly meaningful. In caring for these appliances, we are in essence caring for ourselves. We honor our continued ability to chew our food, to taste its flavors, to speak our minds, and to connect meaningfully with the world around us. There's a very particular insidious kind of pain that only those who have personally experienced the agony of a gout attack can truly, deeply understand. It doesn't announce its arrival gently or subtly. Instead, it often arrives with shocking suddenness, frequently striking in the quiet, vulnerable hours of the middle of the night. It viciously grips a joint, commonly the big toe, but also potentially the ankle, knee, or wrist, with a searing, intense heat, accompanied by dramatic swelling and a profound stiffness that can feel utterly unbearable, rendering the affected area exquisitely tender to even the slightest touch. For seniors, this intense pain isn't just a physical ordeal. It profoundly disrupts sleep patterns, severely limits mobility, and can insidiously chip away at their precious independence and overall quality of life. It transforms simple, everyday actions, like walking to the kitchen to get a glass of water or standing up from a comfortable chair, into suddenly difficult, pain-filled challenges. Gout, at its core, is caused by an unwelcome buildup of uric acid in the bloodstream. When these uric acid levels become too high, the acid can crystallize within the joints, much like tiny, sharp needles, igniting a powerful and intensely painful inflammatory response. For many years, individuals suffering from gout have primarily turned to prescription medications for relief from these acute flare-ups and for long-term management, and indeed these medications are often necessary and highly effective. However, alongside these medical treatments, there's also a quiet, surprisingly accessible potential remedy that lives, often unnoticed in most kitchen cabinets: common baking soda. Though it may seem almost too simple, too humble to be true, baking soda, or sodium bicarbonate as it's chemically known, is naturally alkaline. This inherent alkalinity means that it possesses the potential to help neutralize some of the excess acidity within your bloodstream and, by extension, your urine. Some early scientific studies, coupled with numerous anecdotal reports from individuals who have tried it, suggest that when taken in small, carefully measured amounts, typically just a half teaspoon thoroughly mixed into a full glass of water, baking soda may assist in making the body's internal environment slightly less favorable for the buildup and crystallization of uric acid. The idea here is not to replace or disregard prescribed medical treatments, which are crucial for managing gout effectively. Rather, the intention is to provide a supportive measure that can help the body maintain its internal balance, perhaps especially during the very early telltale signs of an impending flare-up, or as a complementary approach alongside conventional therapies. More than its specific chemical function, however, there's something undeniably comforting and empowering about having a simple, natural option readily available at your fingertips. There are no prescription refills to worry about, no complicated instructions to decipher, just a quiet, mindful moment at the kitchen sink, a glass of cool water, and the reassuring knowledge that you're proactively taking a small, gentle step toward achieving greater comfort and relief. For seniors who may already feel overwhelmed by complex health regimens and multiple medications, this kind of gentle, accessible self-care can feel incredibly empowering and reassuring. It is, of course, critically important to consult with a healthcare provider before incorporating baking soda as a remedy for gout, especially for individuals who are already managing conditions like high blood pressure or kidney issues, as baking soda does contain sodium, which can be problematic in these cases. However, for many, when used wisely, judiciously, and with medical approval, it has reportedly helped to bring a measure of relief not only to aching, inflamed joints, but also to the pervasive anxiety and stress that often accompany chronic pain conditions. And as the painful swelling gradually begins to fade and movement becomes a little easier, what follows is more than just physical relief. It's the welcome return of a small yet profoundly significant freedom. The freedom to move more comfortably, to walk with less pain, and to live life without constantly wincing in anticipation of the next twinge. There are few physical discomforts more quietly distressing, more insidiously disruptive than the persistent burning, stinging, and urgent sensation that often accompanies a urinary tract issue. For many older adults, and particularly for women, these unwelcome episodes can become a recurring unwelcome visitor, casting a shadow over daily life. What frequently begins as a slight, almost unnoticeable increase in urinary urgency can quickly escalate into a constant, nagging need to go to the bathroom, only to be met with frustratingly little relief, and often significant pain, irritation, and an overall pervasive sense that something just isn't right within the body. This kind of discomfort profoundly disrupts sleep, can subtly erode self-confidence and quietly yet effectively steal the joy from everyday routines and simple pleasures like taking a leisurely walk, resting comfortably, or even sharing a hearty laugh with loved ones. At this stage of life, our bodies naturally become more vulnerable to various imbalances. The natural physiological changes associated with aging, the side effects of certain medications, evolving hydration habits, and even changes in mobility can all play a significant role in increasing susceptibility to urinary tract issues. While antibiotics are often, and rightly, the necessary course of action to fully treat bacterial infections and resolve the underlying problem, there is still something incredibly powerful, peaceful, and empowering about finding a natural, gentle way to soothe the acute discomfort while waiting for prescribed medical healing to take full hold. This is precisely where humble baking soda comes into the picture once again, proving yet again that effective healing and comfort don't always need to come from a pharmacy shelf or a prescription pad. A small, carefully measured amount, typically just half a teaspoon, thoroughly stirred into a glass of water and consumed may help to reduce the overall acidity of the urine. This subtle shift can, in turn, significantly calm the distressing burning sensation that makes every trip to the bathroom feel like a struggle. This gentle adjustment in pH may ease the irritation in the bladder and urethra, even if only slightly at first, offering a kind of quiet, welcome comfort precisely when it's most desperately needed. It's crucial to understand that baking soda is not a cure for urinary tract infections, and it is certainly no substitute for proper medical care, especially when symptoms are severe, persistent, or accompanied by fever or back pain. However, it can serve as a wonderfully supportive measure, a way of caring for yourself in those fragile, uncomfortable moments, a gentle reminder that you still have some agency, some control over your body and your comfort, even amidst discomfort. For seniors, especially those who often juggle multiple health conditions and a variety of medications, the sheer simplicity and accessibility of this remedy can be a most welcome relief. There is undeniable dignity and profound comfort in being able to move through your day without that constant, dull ache in the lower abdomen, in feeling like your body is not perpetually working against you, but rather with you towards a state of balance and ease. For many, a warm glass of water with a touch of baking soda becomes more than just a simple folk remedy. It becomes a small, yet significant act of personal restoration and self-care. It's often a small thing, almost invisible to others, yet it commands an outsized portion of your attention. A tender, raw spot inside the mouth, a shallow, irritating ulcer appearing on the soft tissue of the inner cheek, perhaps under the tongue or along the gum line. But for those who have experienced the distinct misery of canker sores, the pain is unmistakably sharp, annoyingly lingering, and feels entirely disproportionate to its diminutive size. It insidiously interrupts meals, making chewing a cautious, sometimes painful endeavor. It can make lively conversation uncomfortable, as even slight movements of the mouth can aggravate the sore, and it can turn even the simple pleasure of a sip of warm tea or coffee into a wincing, unpleasant experience. For seniors, whose mouths may already be more delicate or sensitive due to factors like dry mouth, often a side effect of medications, the natural changes of aging tissues, or the presence of dental appliances, the sharp, persistent sting of a canker sore can be deeply and profoundly disruptive to their daily comfort and quality of life. Though generally considered minor in the grand scheme of health issues, these tiny sores often carry more emotional and physical weight than they appear to. They frequently arrive uninvited after periods of increased stress, prolonged fatigue, or as a result of small accidental injuries within the mouth, such as an inadvertent bite to the cheek or irritation from rough-textured foods. And while they do, thankfully, eventually heal on their own, the days spent waiting for that healing can feel significantly longer and more uncomfortable than they should. In those moments of acute discomfort, it's entirely natural to want something gentle, something effective, and above all, something unequivocally safe to bring relief. Baking soda once again offers just that. With its naturally alkaline properties and its well-recognized mild antiseptic qualities, Baking soda helps to restore a healthy, balanced environment within the mouth. It works by reducing the acidity that often exacerbates canker, sore, irritation, and pain, creating conditions less favorable for the sore to thrive. A simple yet remarkably effective rinse made by dissolving half a teaspoon of baking soda in a glass of warm water and used gently once or twice a day can significantly soothe the pain, help reduce inflammation around the sore, and actively support the body's natural healing process. This isn't just folklore or an old wives' tale. Even contemporary dental studies have indicated that regular baking soda rinses can indeed help to reduce the discomfort associated with recurrent aphthous ulcers, the clinical term for canker sores, and may promote a faster recovery period. But even more than the scientific validation, there's something quietly reassuring and deeply comforting about turning to such a simple, familiar, and readily available substance for relief. It's the kind of practical, gentle remedy a grandmother might have lovingly whispered to you as a child, a piece of timeless wisdom passed down through generations. It's virtually costless, entirely colorless, and carries no worrying side effects, just pure, simple calm for an irritated mouth. For seniors who may be wary of introducing new medications with potential interactions or using strong, chemical-laden commercial rinses, this humble pantry staple solution becomes a gentle, trusted friend in times of oral discomfort. And in those quiet, mindful moments when you gently swirl the warm, slightly salty water in your mouth, tip your head back, and carefully rinse away the sting, it's more than just a treatment. It's a pause, a breath, a small yet significant act of self-kindness and care. As we reach the later chapters of life, there's often a quiet, profound shift in how we perceive and approach our health. It's no longer solely about aggressively fixing what's broken or chasing after eternal youth. It increasingly becomes about diligently preserving what still works well, compassionately comforting what's tired or aching, and mindfully nurturing what remains strong and vital. In this deeply personal journey, simplicity often emerges as our greatest and most trustworthy ally, and few things embody that fundamental truth more perfectly than common baking soda. Throughout this exploration, we've uncovered 7 truly remarkable ways this humble, unassuming white powder can make a genuinely meaningful and positive difference in the daily lives of seniors. From easing the sharp, annoying sting of a canker sore to potentially reducing the debilitating ache of joint pain, from soothing uncomfortable urinary discomfort to effectively freshening oral appliances. Baking soda consistently shows us that sometimes the most powerful and effective remedies are not hidden away in sophisticated laboratories or locked securely behind pharmacy counters. Instead, they are often already with us, residing quietly right there on the kitchen shelf, patiently waiting to be understood, appreciated, and utilized for their gentle healing potential. But this is not just a mere list of practical uses. It's a gentle, poignant reminder of something far deeper and more significant. Our bodies, at every age and stage, still deserve dedicated care, respect, and attention, even when they are no longer young and robust. And that essential care doesn't always have to be complicated, expensive, or technologically advanced. It can often be found in the simple comfort of warm water, in quiet, mindful rituals of self-attention, and in basic, wholesome ingredients handled with care and intention. The very act of mixing a little baking soda into a glass of water to sip, of soaking tired, aching feet at the end of a long day, or of gently rinsing a sore mouth, these are not just treatments in a clinical sense. They are profound acts of self-respect, small, quiet declarations that powerfully affirm, I matter, my comfort matters, my well-being still deserves attention and nurturing. We live in a world that often moves at a dizzying, relentless pace, constantly pushing us toward newer, flashier, and often more complex solutions for every ailment. But for those who have lived long enough to gather wisdom, there is an undeniable grace and profound insight in turning back to the basics, to the tried and true. There is a unique elegance in consciously slowing down, in finding genuine healing and comfort in what is familiar, honest, and time-tested. Of course, it is crucial to remember that baking soda is not a magical cure-all. It must be used wisely with informed care and consideration, especially for individuals managing specific health conditions such as kidney disease, high blood pressure, or other medical concerns that necessitate sodium restriction or careful pH balance. Consultation with a healthcare provider is always recommended. However, under the right circumstances and when used appropriately, it can be a wonderfully powerful and accessible complement to a lifestyle rooted in mindfulness, balance, and the enduring value of simplicity. And perhaps the greatest, most empowering lesson of all is this: taking good care of yourself doesn't need to be expensive, overwhelming, or high-tech. It can begin as simply as a pinch of powder, a glass of water, and a genuine willingness to listen to your body's needs and whispers. For seniors gracefully navigating the delicate, ever-shifting balance of aging, baking soda isn't just a simple household remedy. It's a quiet, steadfast companion in the noble pursuit of peace, comfort, and enduring dignity. So the next time you walk past that familiar little orange box in your cupboard, don't just see a cleaning agent or a baking ingredient. See potential, see healing, see an old trusted friend, one that just might help you feel a little bit better one day at a time. These lessons and insights are meant to inspire you, to encourage you to live fully, authentically, and with a renewed sense of empowerment over your own well-being. Now, I genuinely love to hear from you. Please take a moment to reflect and perhaps share one thing you've learned from this discussion that you plan to apply or at least consider in your own life. Let's support each other on this shared journey toward embracing these simple yet profound truths. If you enjoyed this information and found it valuable, please leave a comment with Yakwan or simply a 10 will do. If not, or if you have suggestions, please feel free to comment with your feedback. It truly means a lot to us and helps us create better content. Don't forget to like, share this with anyone you think might benefit, and subscribe to our YouTube channel for more content like this. Thank you so much for watching and for investing your time with us. Here's to living life on your own terms, with comfort, health, and joy.